Do you own an object that holds some type of significance for you? If your answer is yes, you are not alone. In fact, the New York Post conducted a survey where 85% of Americans said that they keep an item of sentimental value. But why do we keep these objects? Maybe they hold an emotional connection to a person, nostalgia, comfort, or identity. Perhaps, like me, they hold significance of who we were in the past and who we hope to become in the future. I have three objects that represent where I come from, my faith, and my goals for the future. These objects are my first Mexican passport, my certificate of baptism, and my music and worship certificate. I'll begin with my first item, which is my Mexican passport. It represents the years I spent in Mexico. I received this passport in 2011 when I was 9 years old and moved to Mexico. Even though I was born in the US, my parents are from Mexico and I spent almost 10 years living there. Life there for me was completely different from life here. At times, there were no electricity for days or weeks. We had to cook on fire pits and there were no hot showers. But I loved the food, the nature, and the sense of freedom. During those years, I came to the US alone when I was 12, but returned to Mexico at 13. And guess what? I used this same passport to travel here and to travel back. In Mexico, I graduated from elementary school, middle school, and high school. Eventually, I did come back to the US at age 19. During COVID-19, I applied to university in Mexico, but unfortunately was not admitted, which made me feel lost and without a purpose in life. In 2021, I decided to return to the US, hoping to find purpose here. Even though this passport has expired, it still reminds me of where I grew up and where most of my memories were made. Moving on to my second item is my certificate of baptism. In Mexico, I met the Seventh-day Adventist community. When I returned at age 13, my parents had already converted from Catholicism to Adventism and had been baptized. So I decided to be baptized too. However, I did not fully understand what it meant. I was baptized on February 6, 2016 in a river with very cold water, and I still remember the people singing as I walked into that cold water. Although I was baptized in Mexico, I actually began practicing my faith after returning to the US at age 19. It took me about 3 years to fully commit to church again, but when I did, I found my true purpose. Even though I didn't take it seriously at first, I'm thankful I was baptized because it helped me with my faith today. This brings me to my final item, which is my music and worship certificate. I earned the certificate after completing an intensive 120-hour course on Christian music. I traveled to Colombia to receive it at a Seventh-day Adventist university. I had the opportunity to sing in front of more than 200 people, join a choir, and perform with an orchestra. It was a one-of-a-kind experience, and I will always cherish it. This certificate connects to my future career goals. To earn it, I had to organize a 6-day conference and practice public speaking just like this one. My dream is to major in music, become a choir director, and compose Christian music for choir and for myself as a soloist. I believe God put this dream in my mind and my heart, and the certificate represents my first step towards achieving it. To bring all of this together, my passport, my certificate, and my music and worship certificate show who I have become and who I hope to be in the future. My passport reminds me of where I grew up and the memories I made. My certificate of baptism marks the beginning of my journey of faith, which later gave me a purpose in life. And my music and worship certificate represents my future dream of serving God through music. I hope my story reminds you that you are here for a purpose. I did not know which mine was at first, but over time, I was able to discover it. Although your dreams can feel out of reach right now, I believe that if the idea is in your mind and your heart, it is there for a reason. My invitation to you is to find those objects that hold value in your life and let them motivate you to take the first step towards making that idea in your heart and in your mind a reality.